In Conversation with Terry Shepard, award-winning broadcaster, narrator, and author. A deep dive into the writer's craft with the artists and support systems who create the stories we love.
Thanks, Lisa. We're live at Left Coast Crime Seattle Shakedown, visiting with some of the attendees about themselves and their latest projects. With us in the hallways of the Hyatt Regency Bellevue are Sam Wiebe, Vera Chan, Karen Odden, Bruce Johnson, and AJ Devlin. Let's meet them in this series of 60-second profiles.
My name's Sam Wiebe, and my newest book is Ocean Drive, which comes out April 20th in Canada and in the fall in the States. And it's a small town, Fargo. And I also have a book coming out under a pen name called The Lonesome Place for Dying by Nolan Chase, which is a sort of a Longmire, first in the series about a small town chief of police.
What made you decide to write this next one under a pen name?
The publisher.
They wanted to have a refresh on the brand?
Well, I'm sort of known as a Canadian private eye writer, neither of which is a marketable skill. So starting over with an American setting and a new name seemed to be the smart thing to do.
Hi, Vera Chan. Nice to meet you. I am from the Oakland Bay area, and I have been working on some short stories as well as manuscripts. I've got two mysteries that one is in submission. The second one is almost done, and it's called Jargon Killer, which is maybe a satire on serial killer tropes. And I have been working on some short stories as well. Just won the Los Angeles Review for those poor mothers, and I've got something coming up in the BoucherCon anthology. So hopefully things will pick up even more this year in 2024.
What do you think the secret is of getting selected for BoucherCon, for the anthology there?
Read the instructions, make sure it fits the theme, and of course have superlative writing. I mean, obviously.
Hi, my name is Karen Odden. I'm here at Left Coast Crime, and right now I'm working on a short story set in 1870s London.
But you do much more than that.
I'm a big historical fiction fan. Actually, I've got 5 historical mysteries that are all set in 1870s London, and for this short story, I grabbed my protagonist and his sidekick, and I'm doing a nice little short story about them. And then the other thing I'm working on is I'm defecting from the mystery genre, and I'm writing a historical fiction set in early 1800s.
So what is it about the Victorian era that appeals to you?
Oh, well, 20-some years ago, I wrote my PhD dissertation on Victorian literature, Victorian railway disasters. And the people who were crawling out of them, like Charles Dickens, with all kinds of weird injuries that eventually led railwaymen and doctors to call their injuries railway spine, and that's the foundation for PTSD. So I wrote my dissertation on that, and so then, of course, when I decided to write fiction, I put my first book in 1870s London. I put my heroine and her poor laudanum-addicted mother on a train, ran it off the rails, and that was sort of my first book. Yeah.
So light writing.
Yeah, light writing.
Light stress writing. You're also here in a semi-secret role for Sisters in Crime.
So I'm on the National Board of Sisters in Crime. I am the publicity liaison, and I will be running around taking pictures of Sisters in Crime members the whole weekend and sending it on to my social media team so that they can post all about what's happening here at Left Coast.
My name is Bruce Johnson. My latest release is Deja Vu, which is in the Sync NorCal anthology called Invasive Species. My first published fiction, so I can actually now say I'm a published fiction author, which is actually a big thrill for me. Been published in nonfiction, but nobody reads computer crap, so therefore I'm thrilled to actually have fiction under my belt, and I can actually claim the moniker of author.
What is next?
I am actually in the middle of drafting, so I've actually got out to beta readers, a novel called The Farm. Psychological thriller, because I tend to do psychological thrillers, and I tend to have revenge as my underlying theme for just about every novel I've written to this particular point. So that will be, hopefully I'll be pitching that to agents starting the summer.
My name is AJ Devlin. I'm a Canadian crime writer. I write the Hammerhead Jet Pro Wrestler Mystery PI series with New S Press based out of Edmonton. Book 4 in my series is coming out in October. I'm here promoting it. It's called Bronco Buster, and it's a real-time one-day mystery comedy where my detective Hammerhead Jet is caught up in a murder mystery at a Cloverdale Rodeo, which is a real rodeo in Vancouver. So he's a city boy who goes a little bit country.
And Hammerhead Jed is really a rock star among your fans. What is it that they love most about your character?
Well, I like to think it's that when he finishes a match, he celebrates by drinking a beer and breaking a 2x4 piece of wood over his head. But I think he's also got a pretty good heart of gold, and he's got a bit of a moral compass and likes to help people out. Just, catch the bad guys, stuff like that. But I'm going to stick with the more colorful aspects of his personality, I think, as my favorites.
We'll have more 60-second profiles of the attendees at Left Coast Crime Seattle Shakedown all week in Conversation.
In Conversation with Terry Shepard is a copyrighted presentation. All rights reserved. I'm Lisa Davis. Join Terry Shepard next time in Conversation.